little sediment there at the bottom. Nice! Wonderfully carbonated, lovely and clear. Hi, I'm Rob King and welcome to the Christmas Cracker Turbo Cider Retrospective. Cheers. Absolutely lovely. Unbelievably, it has been a whole month since Christmas Day, so this is us revisiting the Christmas Cracker to just see how well it stands up a month later. And starting with clarity, absolutely wonderfully. In terms of carbonation, the carbonation has held, that is pretty good. Aroma absolutely blows you away. It really does give you a lot of that clove, cinnamon. It is delicious and it all comes through in the taste. I think I evaluated this as good all round the first time. It's a little bit better than that actually. I'm liking how this is smoothed out. Lovely and cold, lovely and clear, lovely and refreshing. Winner winner. Let's move on and look at the schedule. This was ready in plenty of time, so I had some time in conditioning, but the basic fermentation profile was simply 2 weeks in fermentation, 2 weeks in secondary with all those wonderful flavourings, 2 weeks in carbonation and then into the bottles. It was ready to go within 6 weeks, but I actually put it to one side and enjoyed it on Christmas Day a month later. This was a lovely, simple fermentation profile that worked really well. The extra time has perhaps given it a little more clarity. That was certainly seen in the bottle with a little bit of sediment that had settled out at the bottom. The vital statistics, meanwhile, all came in spot on and within the expected range. The ABV at 7.8% is absolutely in range, as is the OG at 1.060 and the final gravity at 1.000. It was a little dry and I'd hoped it was a bit higher, but 1.000 was nicely within the range. The fermenter volume, 4.5 litres. Turbo ciders are pretty straightforward in that respect. I would be surprised if I missed that target. However, it was really great to see how much I got into the bottle at the end also. Result. Moving on to my favourite topic, the costs and the price per pint. So let's have a look at the breakdown. We really have 3 ingredients to this recipe. We have the basic fermentables, the apple juice, we have the yeast, and we have all those delicious flavourings that I added at the end. And it does break out roughly in thirds, with fermentables coming out just a little higher at £4.65. The yeast at £3.57, that was a classic turbo cider champagne yeast, EC1118. And then all of the flavourings, which I won't go through here, but they are listed there on the screen, provided all the additional costs. The most notable thing about this homebrew, of course, was the fact I decided to back sweeten a little with an additional 160 grams of non-fermentable sugar, and of course the 10 millilitres of glycerine, which just brings out a more full-bodied flavour. It has worked really well. 10 millilitres seem to be absolutely spot on for this type of drink. I have tried 20 millilitres in an alternative recipe and I can't say I noticed the difference, so 10 millilitres seems to be the sweet spot when it comes to adding glycerine, of course for a 5 litre batch. So the total cost came in at a totally reasonable £11.72, which means the price per pint is £1.48. Delish. The 500 millilitre bottles, of course, which are just a bit smaller than a pint, would have come in at £1.30. And moving on to the lessons learned, of which I only have 3 on this occasion. The first 2 relate to the yeast, with lesson number 1 being that very dry result, 1.000 gravity, using the Lalvin EC1118 yeast. It's a classic champagne yeast that ferments exceptionally well and really gave us that 7.8% ABV. Wonderful. And lesson number 2, the fact that it attenuates so well, you end up with a very compressed layer of yeast at the bottom, which means that you end up with a lot of transfer then into the bottle. I almost had no loss on this brew. Wonderful. And finally, lesson number 3 is the choice of all those wonderful additions, which on this occasion turned out terrifically well. I get a nice aroma of those cloves, but also the sweetness of cinnamon and all those other flavours welled together to make an absolutely quaffable drink. So what's gone? This is a combination of flavourings and glycerine and back sweetening that together have resulted in a wonderful end result, and I will do again. This is my final review of the Homebrew Masterplan 2024. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe, and do tune in again for the Homebrew Masterplan 2025. Good health, cheers. That's it, it's all over. The Homebrew Masterplan 2024 is in the bag and lots of fun was had. 16 homebrews aligned to 16 special events throughout the year. Now it's time for 2025 and the brand new master plan. Check out the link.